right, guys. So this week we watched the highly anticipated action movie of the year, John Wick, Chapter 4, directed by Chad Stahelski, starring Keanu Reeves, Donnie Yen, and Bill Skarsgård. Quick synopsis, as if a lot of y'all might not even need it. With the price on his head ever increasing, legendary hitman John Wick takes his fight against the high table global as he seeks out the most powerful players in the underworld, from New York to Paris to Japan to Berlin, all over.
Isn't this guy from Fortnite Season 2?
And this is going to be our non-spoiler review, of course. We'll get to the spoilers later, but right now, what are y'all's first impressions? And these two laddies have not seen the John Wicks.
Never. I will say though, I didn't expect the action to be this good. The whole thing was fighting, like straight up.
Damn near the whole thing was fighting.
And the entire movie, basically. And I did not expect that. I thought there was just like, I don't know, I thought it was a typical action movie where, I don't know.
There's a reason they call John Wick movies the best action movies of the decade.
Maybe of all time. I'll give it that.
It was amazing.
So for our short films, we've been trying to get into action ones. So I always scroll through clips, watch fight scenes, watch the behind the scenes on how they're made, and I watched like probably 90% of the movies because they're all fight scenes, and I think I've seen pretty much every John Wick fight scene from the first three movies. So I kind of get a feel for. I knew what I was going into, and watching the progression from each movie go through to this one, the fight scenes were just like over the top. Before the movie even came out, I think Corridor had a one of the stunt coordinators from the movie on there, and they said like that scene where John Wick is driving the car. It's in the trailer, so I could say it, where he like picks up the gun. They did that for real. Like all of that was real. None of it was CGI. Like he was actually driving the car, stuck his arm out, picked up the gun, and then proceeded to fake shoot people while he was driving. He was the one driving too.
I'm not even surprised. They put in so much work into these films, and this one's no different. To me, this one was by far the best with its action sequences and its choreography. And I feel like it literally took everything that the other three movies did and just like made them so much better.
It up, dude. The cinematography was so
crazy.
Fucking beautiful. Like there was a lot of like shots during the fight scenes that were really inventive that you never have like seen before.
From different perspectives and angles.
Like during the final fight, it's a cinematography shot, so I don't think it's like spoiling the plot of the movie. But there's a fight where the camera is showing you like a floor plan top view down of the fight. It's like the third person point of view where like you are above the roof, just floating above, seeing everyone in the rooms like fighting it out. It's so fucking cool. Like that part just blew me away.
That was what I was going to mention too. That was probably one of my favorite shots, and it was crazy too because usually it's a shot is like a couple seconds. No, it was like the whole fight.
It was like it looked like a one take almost, and I'm really curious to see the behind the scenes if that was a one take. I would 100% believe it. But I think there were a couple places in there where I could see cuts, but I remember just watching and be like, holy fuck, I think they did this all in like just whoop.
It felt like a video game. It was crazy.
And it wasn't just that one scene either. I felt like all the scenes did that. Like all of them were very start to finish. Yeah.
In different ways. But
I like the one where he was like in the mirror room. Like
one thing I have noticed is that these motherfuckers in the John Wick really like just putting them in rooms with a shit ton of mirrors or a shit ton of just standing LED lights where the lights are just there for no fucking reason. Like at the start when in that first scene where they're in Hong Kong and there's just a shit ton of lights on the floor. Like there's just no point. Like the room is empty except for light fixtures. And they're just like, it looks cool, but like, why the fuck is it like this?
That's actually one of the biggest things I like that the producers and stuff do is all the lighting. There's so much like good saturation and like filters and colors. Like it's very vibrant throughout all the movies. Besides probably like the first and maybe the second one. But like
I think it's cool, but it just threw me out of like the set piece for a little bit because I was like, in what real world scenario do you walk into a place and there's just a room full of like LED tube lights just on the floor and nothing else?
A club, like the clubs they were in.
The place was definitely not a club, though. It was the
Talking about the
The
hotel.
assassin. Yeah. It
Oh,
was
the
a hotel. It was not a fucking club, dog.
The other one was a club in the rain.
I get the club, but like they did that shit in the hotel, and I was like, why the fuck is this in here?
So cool. But that, and I do have to give high praise to the actors. I feel like all the actors that were casted did a really good job.
I had a shit ton of high profile actors. Like it was fucking beautiful.
What was the villain? I forgot the villain's name, and I don't know his actor's name.
Bill Skarsgård.
Dude, he did really good because I feel like plays the villain in so many other movies. Can you all hear that?
Fine. Ignore it.
He plays the villain in so many other movies, yet this one was still so unique to me. I feel like this villain by Bill Skarsgård was not like anything else he's ever played. You know, like unlike some other actors where one character is the same as another character in different movies. You know what I mean?
He's still a coward though. Homie couldn't do it
still
himself.
a little bitch, bro.
Yeah. My favorite was actually Donnie Yen's performance. I thought he did a really good job, and I really want to see if he's going to do anything else action movie-wise.
Okay.
Because he is getting up there in age.
Very like, the action scenes were really, really nice, but I was kind of underwhelmed by Keanu Reeves' performance in it. Like, outside of the action parts.
You say that, and you haven't seen the other ones. That's how he always is. That's just his character. That's just how he's written.
I get it,
Well,
but I don't think I like the way his character acts.
I actually, that's a good transition into like the cons. I have actually griped about that too before. I feel like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, like they're just
him.
having like a super deep conversation. Yeah.
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 He's a man of not many words, but
he just looks at him and they're like, it's good sitting with the old friend. Yeah.
And then
it's like, bro, shut the fuck up, dude.
It's so
Say
funny.
something.
And then like another thing was, and I'll probably be done after this. Another thing for me is just like every other movie was a little more justified with like how he got away with certain situations and stuff. And I get it. He's like a one-man killing machine. Like that's the point. Like he's like a perfect assassin. But like this one, he was damn near unkillable. Like for no good reason. Like it was almost like parody.
I was about to say one of my biggest gripes. I've noticed throughout like all the 3 movies, like the fight scenes and stuff that I've seen, this motherfucker gets hit by cars way too fucking much. Like each movie, he gets hit with like 8 different cars and then just fucking shakes it off. You're like, God, what the fuck? Can you just fucking run him over? And he's like, yeah, I'm still good, man. And then someone else gets ran over in the same scene and they're just fucking toast. And I'm like, bro, make up your fucking mind. Are people just invincible to cars or are they just going to get ran the fuck over?
And he gets up fast too.
Like nothing. Like he just shrugs it off. He's like, yeah, been there, done that. I was like, at this point, I believe it. You just got hit by 8 cars. You probably fucking do this daily. What the fuck, dude?
Or like he'll like fall out of a building like 3 stories and he'll survive. And I'm like, what?
He just gets up. He's like, my wife.
But yeah, that's really all I got to say. Non-spoilery. It's John Wick 4 is probably action movie of the year right now. It probably will be, to be honest.
What other action movies have come out? That's not a superhero movie.
That's what I'm saying. Well, either way, just like the work that they do on this film is insane, and obviously the plot's really cool. Like all the world's like really fascinating, and they expand upon it in every single movie, every single film. But like, really, it's been the same plot the past 3 films, so there's not much change there. No one's there for the plot. A lot of people aren't there for the plot, but that's okay.
I was there for the plot.
Well, that was my con, is I didn't really... I mean, to be fair, I didn't watch the other 3, but I just thought the plot wasn't that good. It was also a little hard to follow, which is probably on me, because it's a continuation of the others, but...
I followed it just fine.
But you also read stuff. I don't know if Anthony read anything.
I did also see fight scenes and kind of whenever I saw familiar faces in there, I was like, okay, this is what's up.
All I know is he got shot and fell off like a 6-story building.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
And he's like, what, in his 50s, 60s?
Yeah, homie just tanks it.
40s, 50s? That's okay, though.
The plot for me, I
did read that the most people he killed at one time in one scene was like 60 people, like 60 something.
Probably.
I
Yeah.
should have seen some part of the. I think he had more kills in the fight scene in John Wick 3 where he was like in that where he was before he goes to the desert where he's like storming that fucking cartel house. I think he killed like 100 people in that scene. I think he killed way more people there than he did anywhere in this movie.
I'd have to relook. I don't know.
Unless you count like the entire like trip from like to the duel this movie, which I don't count because they broke it up into segments.
All I know is he has like 300 kills.
He's probably at like 800, bro.
Through all movies.
But plot wise, I get like between each 3 movies, like it's always like him like running from his past almost. But I feel like this one was a lot more about the consequences of him. Like it focused a lot more on consequences than the other ones did, from what I picked up on. Like a lot of like the first 3 were like more about revenge, and this was like the consequences for him getting his revenge.
It slowly.
I feel like this was it catching up to
him. Yeah, it finally slowly caught up to him. Kind of. We'll talk more about that in spoilers. There's a lot to dive into with that, but that's
yeah, I would definitely recommend. And I don't know about Anthony. I feel like is a good representation of this because he didn't see anything about it. So, but I would recommend it, even if you haven't seen the other ones. I would.
I don't think I'm a good candidate just because it's never really caught my interest, so I feel like I'm a little biased already.
If you fucking love fight scenes, that's all you need to come and watch because that's 99% of the movie.
Don't get me wrong, the fight scenes were amazing, like some of the best I've ever seen out of any movie. Like they were hands down amazing. I'm not huge into
I feel like
for 3 hours.
I was about to say, like towards the end, the fight scenes got so long that I just found myself not caring because I knew he was just going to stick it out for even longer.
I completely disagree.
You lost my attention.
Every fight scene was really fascinating with the setting and just how all the choreography was very different with the scenery.
I would lose interest because I stopped feeling tension like halfway through the movie. I was like, oh, this fucker's not going to die, and like possibly until the end of the movie. So why the fuck do I even care?
Because he feels invincible, yeah. Which is where
that's what I was saying. He didn't even like really get hurt that much, like show any type of like slowing down at all at any point in the movie. So that's what kind of killed it for me. It would have been nice to see some battle damage, but no. Fucker can just get hit by 8 cars and still walk without a limp. That's cool.
Which we will talk about in spoilers. But you highly recommend, I highly recommend. Anthony, do you recommend?
I would just regular recommend. I would recommend if you like fight movies. I think a casual moviegoer wouldn't enjoy it as much.
If you've seen the others, then yeah, I recommend. If you haven't, then I don't know.
It's up to you. Split decision.
I'm glad they're building off of it, though. It's a really cool world to explore more in depth.
Yeah, they gave it like a whole series and another movie.
Exactly. But anyways, that's all. We're going to go into spoilers. If you have not watched it, go check it out. If you do not care, you want to listen to our spoilers, or you have watched it and want to listen to spoilers, then stick around. Make sure you look at all links in our description, our social media, all of our merch store, all that good stuff. Make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. And yeah, we'll see you non-spoiler people later.
Whew. That was a mouthful. Why don't you shut the fuck up next time? My favorite part was when the blind guy started dancing to the Three Blind Mice theme song that was blasting in the club.
My favorite part was when he did that and then took off his glasses and wasn't actually blind and he was lying.
Favorite part was when the blind guy was actually just Stevie Wonder in disguise.
My favorite part was when Mr. Beast cured him of blindness. What was your favorite part, Anthony?
When they killed the dog.
Dude. Common enemy number 1 right here. All right, we're gonna get into spoilers. Is there any like cons that stand out to y'all involved with like the story or the spoil or anything to do with spoilers.
I will say that I didn't talk much in the spoiler free, but I also said most of everything I have for this movie. It just, for me, I just don't enjoy so much action. So to me, especially on my situation with how I watch it, it just, I don't know. I was not very interested in it. I'll be honest.
My number one.
I think that would be different if I watched all of the previous 3, which I might one day. I just didn't have time this week.
Yeah,
I
wanted to watch them all, but I wanted to watch them all before I came into this one, so I could be as knowledgeable about the story as possible, because that's what I like to look into. But I didn't, because I'm a piece of shit. But my number one biggest issue is that there was absolutely no fucking tension in any single fight scene in this entire movie. Not once did I feel like his life was genuinely in danger until the very, very end.
I think the biggest reason for that too is, like you said earlier, about how he didn't even have any like real battle scars. Like, if he had like been started limping, or like he got shot in the arm or something, it would have been better.
Homie fell down a flight of 2,000 stairs twice and then got up like fucking nothing. What the fuck is that, dude?
That shot went crazy. That shit shot
Not
forever,
only
bro.
that, but whenever he was falling down the stairs, I was like, this is not fun to watch. Homie literally can just stop rolling at any time.
That's what I thought too.
Stop.
I was thinking that, yeah.
I was like, this is just fucking stupid. This sucks. I just wasted like 2 minutes of my life while watching Keanu Reeves fall down stairs after he got touched once.
Breaks no ribs or nothing.
Nothing. Like, literally, he gets up just fine from every single thing, and that's my number one issue.
And then these people with like full like head to toe bodyproof armor,
they just get fucking shot in the face.
Yeah, they're just getting clapped easy.
Because John Wick's a good shot.
He shot a lot of them in the neck.
I get like stabbing them between the cracks of their armor, but when they have full face mask, a bulletproof armor, and they get shot in the head and still die, so I'm like, all right, the fuck's the point of even having them in this shit?
Because homie shoots him right in the eye.
But then John Wick has a bulletproof vest, and no matter where he gets shot, he's gonna survive.
He has bulletproof suit. Actually, his whole suit is made of bulletproof armor.
See, and I think the more realistic approach would have his suit getting tattered and torn to where it's not so bulletproof, because that's what happens in real life. You know, not all fucking bulletproof shit stays bulletproof after they get shot twice.
So many times, yeah.
Homie literally like was just sitting there like Captain America with his fucking head tucked under his suit with like a shield, and was just kept walking. I was like, oh, what's the fuck the point? Like,
yeah.
And outside of that, I like the villain, but ultimately, I think he's really uninteresting because they never delved into his past. It was just one of those villains that they just drag and drop, and it could have literally been any different actor. You could have changed it from being French to like Russian or Chinese or like literally anything, and it would have been fine. Like, it was like a cookie cutter villain. Anyone could have filled that role, and I didn't like that.
Is because, and I don't follow the story exactly of the previous movies, but it basically this whole thing with like the assassin hotel, whatever. It's like.
I know how the world works, but that doesn't mean you can't make a compelling villain out of it. What I'm
saying is, this assassin hotel is supposed to be like the central, like it's kind of what runs everything, right? And then we thought we knew the big bad, and now it's like a mystery. It's like, oh, who is this new guy? He's the actual big bad. Like, he's been a mystery.
The issue is he's still not the big bad. He's just a fucking dude, and not only that. He didn't do anything to show that he was like a good fighter, like nothing to show why he got his position. Even the other characters were like, yeah, no, he just got it there because he's good at talking. Like, there was nothing to make him feel menacing as himself, just the entity that he represented. But even then, it's like you're just giving me like a fucking brick, and that's basically what his character like implies. Like.
No, I think he was a coward in the end, but I feel like the way they introduced him was good. At least that very first scene, showing how he's ruthless. He doesn't really care who he needs to kill. He doesn't give second chances. That little spill. But after that
would have been
his
fine
character
if he
kind
did
of dropped off. Yeah,
be fine if he did the killing. He didn't do shit. The only time he picked up a gun and pointed it at someone, he got fucking killed.
And he did it to a man who was basically dead.
Already shot 4 fucking times. Exactly. Like, the villain was intriguing at first, but then he just became a boring, bland pile of shit that we'll forget about in a couple of years.
He was hiding behind Donnie Yen, who had a really good performance. I love Donnie Yen in this movie.
And he wasn't even a villain.
Good.
He was just forced to be there.
I mean, he was like an anti, kind of. He was like neutral.
He was like fucking Dom Toretto whenever they had his family kidnapped and they made him fake evil for like 30 minutes in a movie.
But
it's funny because I haven't seen any of those.
He did a real good job, and I really like the scenes whenever Kane, his character, and John Wick are just like, because they're friends, and he's just sitting there with them, and he's like, man, like, it's been so long, like, I don't want to do this, but like, we have to, kind of thing.
Yeah, their interaction was really nice. If maybe the writers had John Wick maybe give some more inviting dialogue other than just yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
I guess
crazy, bro.
Since we're still in cons, that's one other thing which I don't really hold them to. I don't hold it to heart too much, but throughout all the films, John Wick never changes. It's the same. His wife died, his dog died. That's really what he's doing it for. He never changes. He was supposed to be retired, but I do understand why he doesn't change. It's because he's a vet. Like his character's so established in that world.
I get that,
he doesn't
but
need
it
to explain
also
himself.
Makes like all the relationships that we see on screen really disingenuine. Like he was talking to like I don't even know the dude's name, but the guy that ran the hotel.
Oh
no,
Winston, bro, how you gonna forget Winston?
No, not fucking Winston, the Asian hotel.
Oh, never mind. I don't even
the
know
badass samurai motherfucker. Yeah, like they're supposed to be like lifelong best friends, but you don't see that out of the way John Wick acted. Like you don't get any of that. You just get the cold. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh shit, you're getting killed. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're just like, bro, say something. Like, goddamn, I do not believe y'all know each other more than fucking 10 minutes right now.
I feel like my theory is they had so much to cover, and it was 3 hours too. They had so much to cover that they couldn't show that. But I mean, even then, they could have shaved off some of the action scenes. But my theory is they're saving all this background and stuff for all these little series. And stuff
they can save it all they want. It made the movie feel like shit, though.
That's all I gotta say, though.
Yeah, that's pretty much me. That's all my cons. The story was just honestly kind of bad. No, I'm not gonna lie.
It wasn't bad. I didn't think it was bad at all. It was a great finale for the whole 3-movie arc that they had going.
I think the thematic weight that it had was really good. Like I really liked the way they approached the themes and how like certain characters reinforced it and how certain actions happened is like a butterfly effect, and it showed you the butterfly effect. But ultimately, it served a plot to a meaningless villain and an almost meaningless movie as well. Like you don't even have to make it a John Wick movie. Make it a fucking like turn this into a Die Hard movie, and it's like replace John Wick with Bruce Willis, and it feels like the exact same movie.
No, I completely disagree. This is his final art. This is final movie. He's finishing his arc finally for his family, and of course, like the big spoiler is that he dies, and in the end, he died. What was his saying? He had a saying for death.
Those who latch onto life die, and those who latch onto death live.
Not that. He said something else before he was like going up to do the final battle to Winston and the king. I don't remember, but it's like he's kind of like ready to die. Like he's just like all that stuff from his past, like you said, have finally caught up with him, but at the same time, he's still the the same person, and it's just it's a great way to end it. And I honestly was scared they weren't going to kill him towards the end, whenever he was actually alive after he got shot and stuff, and he killed the main guy. But I did like that scene too. That was a really clever way of like them both teaming up on him. Like I didn't think either of them going to get out of that.
I thought it was a good way of setting up John Wick dying. Like it made his actual death feel a lot more surprising than if he were to just get shot in the duel right then and there.
Yeah, I agree.
But really, outside of that, I think it was outside of the fight scenes. The story was not great, and I understand like how the movie started, where he's been through, and I'll rewatch all three and see if it changes my feelings on this one. But just as a base movie on its own, the story was really underwhelming and bland and pretty formulaic. The story itself wasn't inventive, but the fight scenes and cinematography were. And I guess they kind of cancel each other out and give you something entertaining to watch, but it's not something impactful.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I know I haven't said much, but
I kind of let out all my positives in the non-spoiler.
The music was really nice at the end. The way they had the radio host like playing records as the fight scenes progressed, I thought they had really good song choices. It made you really feel tense, and it was really upbeat.
I do enjoy the style of the world. It's very distinct. I like it.
I agree, and I don't know why movies do this, but they always film like the Asian scenes. It doesn't matter what Asian country; it's always just this purple and blue neon look.
Neon lights.
But I'm a sucker for that shit though. I'll eat that shit up any fucking day, dog.
Tokyo.
I don't give a fuck how realistic it is. That shit's so fucking pretty to look at, dude.
But other than that,
fight scenes, absolutely beautiful. I want to be best friends with that fight coordinator for any of the scenes. Reach out to be interviewed on the Hooligan Hangout. The acting was good. I'm just running through my thoughts.
Guns, anything really.
It's just about what you expected out of a John Wick movie.
I think it's more than you expect.
No, it's what I expected. A lot of fighting. I feel like it sounds like I shit on this movie a lot, but I really did enjoy it.
There was so much more in this movie, like I said, than the other three movies. It's just like a culmination of all of them finally put together. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what would y'all rate it?
I feel like I'm going to be the low baller this time around. I'm torn between a 7.5 and an 8.
Oh, I was going to give it a 6.
I'll give it a 7.5.
Anthony?
I said I was going to give it a 6.
I'm giving this movie a 9. This movie revitalizes the way action movies should be in the future, and it's going to be really hard to top this movie in the action genre.
That's fair.
Action-wise, yes. Story-wise, I still feel like... I feel like for it to be a solid 9 for me, it needs to have a really great villain. And I feel like movies lately have been lacking of producing really great villains.
From a motivation standpoint, yes, but they already have been establishing the big bad of the high table all along. So, and they made it so that it sounds damn near impossible to even get away with what John Wick did. It's just more sentiment to what John Wick is as a character and what he was able to do, because it was damn near an impossible task.
Well, yeah, they made him invincible.
He still did it though.
Oh, he's fucking Captain America.
Pretty much.
But
yeah, that's all we got this week on the review segment of our podcast, at least. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you look at all the links in our description for all our social media and all the little goodies there. And yeah, stay there, mom, for us. We'll see you later.